Okay, so very good afternoon to all of you. Uh, so we will continue in the today's lecture with our routing algorithm. So one algorithm we have discussed, that is Dijkstra routing algorithm, and also it is also called as a link state routing algorithm. So in this algorithm, we have seen that how a node computes route for the destinations in the given topology, and then today we will see another algorithm, which is decentralized algorithm. Means Dijkstra was centralized because each node requires the entire topology information, so for the larger topologies, it is having some scalability issues. So we'll see the Bellman-Ford algorithm that doesn't require the entire topology information, and the protocols based on these algorithms which are used in the internet for the routing route for the route computation between the nodes, and subsequently from these routes the forwarding tables are constructed at routers. So OSPF protocol is a more popular protocol as compared to the any other protocol, routing protocol. OSPF is based on the Dijkstra algorithm, and RIP, routing information protocol, it is based on the Bellman-Ford. So first we'll start with the leftover portion from the Dijkstra. One problem we have discussed in the Dijkstra or link state routing is if my link cost is based on some dynamic parameter like the amount of load carried by the node or the link, sorry. So then we have seen that there's oscillation problem is there, root oscillation problem is there, right? So now we'll see, first we'll do the see the OSPF protocol, which is based on Dijkstra algorithm. So how this so protocol specific things we'll see. Algorithmically, we know that how the routes are computed, but yeah, in the protocol means what messages are required and how this at what interval the nodes update their information. So first of all, it is open, publicly available. It's the code is you can say is open, and it's a publicly available. So it's not a proprietary software, a proprietary protocol, and it uses link state algorithm and link state packet. So dissemination is done, and then topology map requires at each node. Each node have the complete topology map is there, and that is something, it's a centralized. We due to this only we call this as a centralized algorithm. Entire topology information is required, so it is based on the centralized algorithm, and root computation is using the Dijkstra algorithm. And this OS we call in the OSPF, so OSPF advertisement. So which is that advertisement in node sent to the all the nodes in the topology. They carry one entry per neighbor. So, and advertisements flooded in the entire AS autonomous system. One autonomous system means basically it is a one organization, like one ISP, within one ISP or within a local area network. One network is there. Means in under the single administration, right? That's why this OSPF is also called as a IGP, interior gateway protocol. Means within an organization it works, right? So every organization runs IGP protocols, either OSPF or RIP. And there is another means that's a uh, exterior gateway protocol. That means BGP is the protocol which that works from autonomous system to autonomous system. So when the packet needs to be forward from one autonomous system to another autonomous system, then IGP protocols, because IGP protocols are implemented within the autonomous system. Across the autonomous system, we require a exterior gateway protocol. So the protocol which is used in the internet is the BGP. That also we will discuss at some point later. Now, these advertisements are flooded in entire AS, and they carried these advertisements carried in OSPF messages directly over the IP. Means it is not using the TCP or UDP, transport layer protocols. Directly, these you can say OSPF is an application, basically routing protocol application. So there is no transport layer protocol is used. Directly, these messages carried in the over the IP datagrams. So due to, because it is directly, there is no TCP or UDP connection is required. So basically it is a faster, basically. That's a one advantage, because one layer is removed. So the messages move faster, creation, and then they can be disseminate in the network more quickly. Link state, so because, but there are some overhead, it means not overhead, means the complexity needs to be, this OSPF protocol have more complexity, because the link state broadcast and the reliable message transfer, that must be implemented within the OSPF itself, because reliable message transfer, it is not using any TCP. So whatever the, maybe not the TCP kind of a reliability, but at least if any reliability feature is required, that needs to be implemented in the OSPF. Maybe you are not doing the congestion control, right? But at least you need to, for sending the message and getting the acknowledgement. So this feature needs to be implemented within the OSPF application or OSPF protocol, because of the transport layer is not there. Then broadcast LSAs, whenever there is a change in the link state, whenever there is a change in the link state, and also when the periodic updates are required. So in OSPF, the periodically means the periodicity is set as a 30 minutes. So after every 30 minutes, again the flooding is done and the routes are computed again. This is the way how the this protocol works. Uh, so so one more feature, OSPF have been upgraded, you can say multiple times, right? OSPF versions are also there. Right now I'm not able to recall, but yeah, OSPF version 1, 2, 3, something like that. So, and basically these are upgradation happens over the period of time. So one of the upgrade, one feature is that it has a hierarchical, it supports the hierarchical routing. So as I mentioned that because of this entire topology information requirement at each node to run the OSPF protocol or Dijkstra algorithm, for the larger topologies, the provision in the OSPF has been made is that the the autonomous system can be configured hierarchically into the areas. So you can see in this topology here, we have here three areas, area 1. So some set of routers are there in area 1, and then you have a area 2. So this is a boundary for area 2, and then similarly this is a boundary for the area 3. So now within each area, basically it's a OSPF domain, right? So in this, so there is a one router which is called as area border router. So this is area border router. Similarly for this area, this is area border router, and for this area, this is area border router. So now this area border routers responsibility is basically to for the inter border or inter area communication. So any packet, suppose here some host is connected, and this host wants to communicate to this host. So this is, let us say, H1, and this is, let us say, H2. So the message will, whichever the shortest route from here to the border router, it will go, and from the border router, then the border router will, with the help of the backbone routers, this message will be forwarded into this, and from here it knows that how to reach to H2. So because that is in this area, this border router, it, because this host belongs to this area, so the message will be forwarded via this. So these all the border routers are means connected to the backbone router, and there may be extra routers are also there. So here you can see three border routers are there, and some extra routers also there to provide the interconnectivity between all the border area routers. So this way we can handle the scalability problem of the OSPF or the Dijkstra. So the large topology can be divided into multiple areas, and then within each area you can run the OSPF algorithm. So the broadcast, or you can say the flooding, is limited to these many routers only. Similarly, for area 2, flooding is limited to here only. So this way, that's a one, you can say, upgrade. There are other things we'll see. That's a multicast. There is a version of the OSPF that is called as a MOSPF, multicast open shortest path routing. So multicast, the corresponding multicast protocol is also there. Multicast means one sender and multiple receivers, right? So in that case, multicast routing is used. So for multicast routing also, the OSPF have a one version of the protocol is there. And one more upgrade is there, that is OSPF, which is more recent. Recent means few years back, and that is equal cost multipath routing. Equal ECMP. It is called as a OSPF ECMP extension. ECMP. Equal cost multipath. Multipath routing. So basically, least cost routing it is uses for suppose from between H1 to H2 there is a one path, that is a least cost routing, right? There may be a multiple path having the same cost. Let's say two paths are there. Then OSPF, this extension of OSPF ECMP provides a provision to distribute the traffic over both the paths. Suppose these are the two paths which are taking me to the destination H, right, from this router. So then some of the traffic can be sent via this and some of the traffic can be sent via this. Now, how the traffic distribution is there, the different algorithms are there, but OSPF provides that option to, there are two or more than two on paths, the traffic can be distributed. Means for this destination H, here we have a multiple entries as an next hop routing or as an a next hop. So in this case, next hop will be this. In this case, the next hop will be on these routers. So this extension provides some kind of a load balancing in the internet routing. Otherwise, always if you follow the shortest path, and shortest path becomes the most congested path, and it becomes delay. So because if your cost is cost you have defined based on the distance or the number of hops, then ultimately the least cost is boils down to the shortest path, right? And that becomes congested, and the other alternative paths which may be uh, either, so even if it is same, so it is giving same cost, maybe two or more than two paths you have a same cost, then the traffic can be distributed means on both of them or all of them. So that gives better traffic distribution on the internet as compared to the single least cost path. Okay. So yeah, these two things, and then these are the messages, OSPF messages. One hello message is there. That is to check whether the link is operational or not, just to find out whether the next link is still alive, or is there any suppose that link is not working, or either node has crashed or the link is cut, or so these hello messages are used for checking the activeness of the link, whether the link is still alive or not. Then database description, that contains the descriptions of the topology of the AS or the area. If it is topology is divided into area, then it is area. Otherwise, link state request. So used by one router to request the updated information about a portion of the link, and that is from portion of the link state database description, that LSDB from another router. So it can request also, and nodes can send the entire their database also over a frequent interval. Link state update also can be sent. In that case, contain information about an updated portion of the LSDB. Means entire link state database description is not sent. Just an update as compared to the previous last update. In the new any change, that change only can be sent. So means the size of that message can be reduced and the protocol overhead can be reduced. Then the link state acknowledgements acknowledges a link state update message. So suppose a update is sent by router 1 to router 2, and the router 2 can acknowledge that. So this is basically the reliability part. Okay, so if you to check that whether the node has received or not, so acknowledgement. If acknowledgement is not received, then the update can be sent it after some time, again based on the timeout mechanism. Okay, so this is our link state routing. Another the popular routing protocol or routing algorithm, first we'll discuss the algorithm, that is distance vector routing. So it is a distributed node receives some information from its one or more neighbors, right? Not the complete information, unlike link state algorithm. And iterative, it is iterative. Iterative means there is uh, in a multiple steps. So basically one step, then step two, then step three, like that. We'll see that with the example. So in a single shot routing, you can say the routing table is not constructed because it happens like this. Initially neighbor send any route change information to their neighbor, then these neighbors send to their neighbor, and this is the way how the information progresses in the network. And most important part is that it is asynchronous. This algorithm runs asynchronously, means there is no synchronization is required. Although the synchronization is not required in the link state routing also, means each node independently they can run. Only thing is that, okay, before running their routing algorithm, the nodes should have uh, the complete topology information. That flooding, through the flooding they get the information, and then they run independently the algorithm and compute the routes. So here also the nodes can run the algorithm asynchronously, does not require nodes to operate in lockstep manner. Means there's no like that, okay, one iteration is completed all, then only the second will start and something like that. So its termination is slightly tricky, means even in asynchronous and it is distributed, still the algorithm can terminate. There is a termination condition is there, we'll see. But due to all these things, there are some certain issues are also there, that also we'll discuss later. First, understand that how the algorithm works. So this is a cycle. So it is wait for change in local link cost or message from a neighbor. Suppose each node is in a waiting mode. So either its immediate link cost is change, or maybe suppose this link cost is earlier so maybe it is not link is not active, so cost become, let us say, infinitive. So either this may happen, or maybe the cost is changed from some number 4 to 6, depends upon how I'm measuring the cost, right? So accordingly, the cost change happens, or it receives any message from its neighbor. I mean, then that tells that the cost to a certain destination is either reduced or increased, right? So then it recomputes the recompute estimates, and if dv to any destination has changed, that change has to be notified to the neighbor, and this cycle continuously happen. When this cycle or this iterations stop, it stops when there is no change received. So my local link cost is not changed, and I have not received any change update from the neighbors as well. So if all the nodes have the same state, basically that they are not receiving from anybody other, and their local link cost is also not changed, then we'll say the algorithm is converged, and all the nodes have the same, you can say, routing table based on the current network link matrices. One thing I mentioned to forget about the this OSPF, that is how the link in a IP routers, how the link cost is measured. So link cost is measured like this. This is a formula which is used, link cost for OSPF. So there is a concept of reference bandwidth in the OSPF. Concept of reference bandwidth. So reference bandwidth can be configured, means when you purchase a new router and then you can configure the reference bandwidth. It gives various options like 100 Mbps to 1 GB to 10 GB to 100 GB. So for example, 100 Mbps reference bandwidth. So this is 100 Mbps, 100 divided by the link bandwidth. So your link bandwidth, suppose your link bandwidth is 10 Mbps. So what will be the cost for that? And this is the reference bandwidth. This is reference bandwidth. So reference bandwidth is 100 Mbps, and if the link bandwidth is 10 Mbps, then what will be the cost? So the cost will be 100 divided by 10, so it is 10. 10 will be the cost for this. So this is in the real, you can say IP networks. This is the way how the OSPF in a OSPF link cost is measured. So basically, more the bandwidth, less the cost is there with respect to the given reference bandwidth, right? And we want that, okay, because we want to use the link which is having the more bandwidth. And remember that this link bandwidth is something constant, right? It's not a means residual bandwidth, right? So each when you design your network, you create a network, then you have a router and you connect link, and this link have some bandwidth. Okay, so that is the total capacity of the link. It is not based on like at a time maybe let us say 5 Mbps traffic load is there, then this 10 is basically the total cost, not the residual bandwidth 5 Mbps or 4 Mbps or something like that. So this based on the dynamic parameter, we have already seen that okay, if the routing we do, then it is create the oscillations actually. Okay, so this we have. So now moving to this distance vector routing algorithm. So from time to time, each node sends its own distance vector. So I'll tell you that what is a distance vector. So own distance vector estimate to the neighbors, and distance vector contains estimate of its cost to all destination in the network. From, so suppose my neighbor is sending a distance vector. Suppose there are 5 nodes are there in the network A, B, C, D, E, and I am the sending A is a neighbor of B. So what I will send a distance vector of 5 values, right? So 2, 3, 1, 5, 6, something like that. So basically this is a cost from a, let us say A to A, from me to me, a node A, that usually is 0 because from me to me cost is 0. Then for B it is 3, for C it is 1, for D it is 5, and for E equals to 6. So this is a distance vector. So distance vector is an estimate of its cost to all destination in the network. Mathematically we can say, so when X receives a new distance vector estimate from neighbor, it updates its own distance vector using the Bellman-Ford equation. So this is notation we use. So this dxy means the cost, d is a distance distance vector, the cost from x to y. So the x to y will be the minimum of cxv plus dvy. So basically this node X receives a distance vector from Y, right? So this is dvy, right? And that is for the so from the node V, basically from the node V it receives the distance vector, and for the destination Y, right? So V to Y cost is this, and then the node will calculate, this node will, the node which is receiving this distance vector, it will find the cost. There is a direct link, cost should be there from X to V, and V to Y is coming here. So I will just add these two, C. So this is a link cost from between X to V. So this is a link cost of XV. X and between X and V, there is a direct link is there, and the V to Y cost is coming as a distance vector value. So it will compute, and that it is receiving for each node Y it is receiving. So ultimately what happened, this dxy converts to the actual least cost that is represented by the small d xy. So we will see that okay, with this example it will be more clear. So let us say this is the same topology that we have considered for link state routing. So here we'll see, so small d means it's a least cost. So the least cost from, and this is at node with respect to the node u, right? So this is okay, v cost from v to z, right? Okay, not okay, so it is not necessary that okay it is with respect to which node. basically this is a distance vector of node which is giving the least cost from node V to Z. So V to Z, if you see what is the least cost, so V to Z will be this one. This is the path, right? So the cost is 2 plus 1 plus 2, which is 5. So directly it is written. We'll see the algorithmically step by step how this cost is ultimately converts to this 5. Initially it is may started from some value and then finally it converts to the least value. So right now we are just understanding the notation. So what does it mean? This dxz means the least cost from x to z. So x to z least cost is this one, 1 plus 2. Least cost from W to Z. So W to Z is direct link is 5, but that's not least cost. W to Z is via this Y. So basically 1 plus 2, it is 3. So U to Z, what is the least cost? U to Z, if you say U to Z will be 4. So U to Z cost is 4. Right. So now we'll understand the complete algorithm, how it works. Okay. So this is, you have to see very carefully. Once you understand this, then, so for this purpose, what I'm taking a 3 node topology. So that will be easy for initially to visualize how it works. Then it can scale to 5 node, 6 node, 7 node, whatever. Right. So this is a 3 node topology, very simple topology. 3 links are there. X to Z cost is 7, X to Y is 2, and Y to Z is 1. Now, so I'm showing the table at each node. So node X table will be like this. So this is the cost 2. So it is something that X, so this is the distance vector of X actually. This is a distance vector of Y. This is a distance vector of Z actually. So so from X to X cost is 0. X to X because the same node is there, so it's a 0. X to Y is 2 because X to Y direct link 2 is there. X to Z is 7. X to Z direct link is 7. So initially node knows that its own directly connected links only. Now Y's distance vector is not present at moment and Z distance vector is also not present at this node. Now node Y's table will be what? Initial table will be Y to X is 2, assuming that links are symmetric. So X to Y cost is same as a Y to X. So C X to Y equals to C Y to X as well. So this is a symmetric links are there. So that's why it is same. Okay. Then Y to Y 0, Y to Z 1. Okay. Similarly, you can see the Z. So this is the initial table. Now, after that, because the very first time, so this X computes that its cost to X, Y, and Z, and that comes initially it is 0, 2, and 7. So now this cost it will send to its neighbor. So in this case, basically in this topology, all nodes are each other's neighbor. X have 2 neighbors, Y also 2 neighbors, Z has 2 neighbors. So that's why it looks like that every node is sending to every node, but that's not the case. If it is this kind of a topology, so then you will send the its updates to only V, X, and W only, and it will receive the updates from the V, X, and W only, not from Y and Z, right? So you have just three more distance vector it can receive, one from X, one from Y, and one from W. But in this case, because it is all nodes are neighbor of each other, so that's why you are seeing that. Okay, so this distance vector 0 to 7, X node is receiving from Y and also receiving from Z. Similarly, Y node is also receiving from X and Z, and Z is receiving from X and Y. Okay, so that right now has not been shown. We'll right now focus on this. Suppose this has happened. Node X received a distance vector from Y and Z. So you can see this distance vector 201 is coming and 710 is coming. Perfect. Now we'll see after receiving this distance vector how the cost of from X to Y and Z is changing if it is after receiving this. So we'll see this through the Bellman-Ford equation. So node X is receiving a distance vector for destination Y, right? So for destination Y, it is receiving from node Y also and for node Z also, because node X can reach to the Y directly. That is a one thing, and it can also reach to the Z via Y also. There are two paths, possible paths are there in this topology. So Z also can send its distance vector to X telling that, okay, my cost to Y is this, right? And that will be what? This it will send as a DZY, and Y will send that is DYY. So these two distance vector both will send, both are sent to X. Now X will compute it, estimate its new cost for these Y and Z. Sorry, yeah, this Y destination first, right? So you see this one. So it is receiving from the two nodes. So DYY and the cost of link XY. So link XY is 2 plus the DYY means the least cost from Y to Y, which is obviously 0. So that's why it is 2 plus 0. Then another distance vector it received from the node Z for the from the node Z for destination Y. So that is DZY. So DZY, if you will see, DZY is what? Cost is 1. DZY is basically 1. DYY was 0. So 1, and so this Z is sending, then X will compute that, okay, my cost to Z is 7. And Z is telling that, okay, my cost to Y is 1, which it is sending via this distance vector DZY, this number. So 7 plus 1. So it comes out 8, right? So now which is the minimum? 2 is minimum. So that's why it will put as a 2 as a final cost at this moment. At present, this is the cost for node Y from X, right? Now we'll see the distance vector, these Bellman-Ford equations for the node Z. So the present cost for the node Z is from the X is 7, right? So now we'll see, let me clear this part so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so now it says that, okay, X is receiving the distance vector from Y and Z for the destination Z. So this node is sending DZZ. So DZZ will be 0, and that it is sending to X. Means basically it has sent in a single shot that one distance vector. We are taking one by one actually. So that is Z to Z. Z to Z is 0 basically, and DYZ, that is cost is 1, that also it is sending. So in this distance vector, these two values we are talking about, right? Sorry, D in a Z distance vector, this one, and in a Y's distance vector, this one, Y to Z and Z to Z. So now we'll see X, how we will compute the updated cost for the node destination Z. So from Y, it is receiving YZ DYZ. So it will add the cost between Y. So the cost link cost from X to Y is 2. So that is CXY plus DYZ. That will give me the cost from X to Z. That's a one option. Second option is DZZ. So from cost from X to Z, that is 7, right? And DZZ is 0. So this is 7 plus 0, and CXY is 2 and DYZ is 1. So it is 3 and 7 plus 0. So which is a minimum? 3 is a minimum. So it will, its earlier cost was 7. Its earlier cost was 7, and now its cost is becomes 3. So this is the way how the X has updated its cost to the destination Y and Z. Now similarly, Y also will do the same thing and Z also will do the same thing, right? And so, and they will also compute in the similar fashion. They will compute their Y's distance vector will not change. So you can see y is least cost is not changing after this. So that's why y is not sending any update to x and z. You are not seeing any arrow from going from y to x or z. But in this iteration, so this was at t equals to 0, this is at t equals to 1, right? So at t equals to 1, node z's least cost have been changed with respect to x and y. Sorry, not y, x, it is changed. And node x least cost to z is also changed from 7 to 3. Because that change happened, that's why they will send this updated information to their neighbors. So that's why x is also sending to y and z, and y is also sending to x and sorry, z is also sending to x and y, but y is not sending, right? So this is the way y will stop. I say that okay, because there's no change happens after this, so means there's no update, so I will not send anything to that. Now after receiving these updates, again they will these y and x, right? uh, so they will x will come recompute its, and you know that okay, in this given topology there will be no change after even receiving these updates from z and y. uh, Sorry, x is receiving from node z, and yeah, x is receiving from node z only. So after receiving from z this 310, there is no change in this table. Mean x distance vector is remains to 0 to 3 only. So x also will say okay, it's now there will no further message it will send to any. Similarly, you can see there is no change in the y's table also after receiving this update from the z. So y's distance vector is also remains to 201 only, and z distance vector is also 310, right? That means my routing is converged actually, and this is the way how the you can say the algorithm will terminate actually, and no update happens, and then this is a converged state of the routing algorithm or routing table of xyz nodes. Okay, so this it happens, it is in a two steps basically, t equals to 0, t equals to 1, t equals to 2. In a initial, this is initial table, and then two iteration the algorithm is converged. So this you understood? So for the large topology also means it can be done. Yeah, obviously it will take slightly more time. You need to do some practice, and then but from understanding point of view, this is the way how the algorithm works. Okay, so this is the algorithmic way. So you say that this is a basically initialization is easy to understand. Now in this loop, how long this will continue? Until I see a link cost change to some neighbor W, or until I receive a distance vector from some neighbor W. Until that, this loop is going on. If there is no link cost change to some of my neighbor, and also I have not received any distance vector from my neighbor. Why I have not received? Because their link cost is not changed. So that's why it is after that, if the no messages are received, then means algorithm will converge. Otherwise, this loop will be running continuously until even a single update is coming. That node needs to recompute and then see that if any changes happen in next iteration, it will send it the updated things. If any cost to any of the destination is changed. Okay, now we'll see the interesting scenario with the same example. We'll see the update part. So let us say this is the case, 3 link cost is this, right? So this node detects the local link cost change. Suppose XY link cost change from 4 to 1, then how this update will propagate in the network. So to understand this, we'll see that, so we are saying the link cost change with respect to X for node Z and Y. So because X also will observe that change, and then X will update send to the Y and Z. But we are taking one case, that is, let us say node Y see the change first, and then the node Y is sending its updated information to the X and Z about the cost to the link. So node Y table let us say we'll see how they. So just making one distance vector only. So this is a node y table. So I'm saying that dy means node y table. So what are the destination x and z? So it is via x and z, and cost of x is changing. Basically cost. So from y's perspective, if I'll see if this link cost change observed by the y, then y's cost to x is going to change, and that change it needs to tell to the z also, right? So uh, so before this means before this change, basically before this change means it becomes 4 to 1. When it was 4, then what was the cost? What was the cost uh, for x? What was the cost for x via x and z? So via x means direct link is there, so the cost was 4, and that cost was basically minimum cost. So minimum cost I'm marking with a circle. And what was the cost for node x? For node x via z. What was the cost for node x via z at node y? Yes, anybody? See, y might, so before the convergence, y might have sent y's cost to x is 4. That it has sent as a distance vector, that is dy x, which is 4 to z. And z have seen that okay, my cost direct link cost is 50. So it would have say that fine, if y is telling that okay, my cost to x is 4, then my cost to z, sorry, my cost to y is 1. So I can reach to the x via y in a 4 plus 1, correct? And my other cost, other cost which I am getting from x is, that is 50. So that 50 is more. So the least cost for me is to x is 5. This 5, because it is means its earlier cost was 50 and new cost is 5. 5 it is giving to z, sorry, y. Z is giving to y. So z, what it is sending, it is sending that my cost to x is 5. Now, why is this cost, direct cost to x is 4, and z is telling that okay, to y, that Mr. Y, I can take you to the x in a cost of 5, right? But y will not take consider this cost, because y's cost to direct cost to x is 4, which is less, right? But yeah, z is giving the offer to the y that okay, my cost to z is 5. Right. So as for the estimation purpose, okay, if I say earlier value of the distance vector which have been sent by the uh, z, according to that the cost was 6, because 5 and y is tell okay, your cost to z is 5, sorry, your cost to x is 5 and my cost to u is 1, so it is 5 plus 1, so it is 6. So that's why it was 6yz. Although 6 will not be used as a least cost, not used as in a path by y to forward that packet for x, because its least cost to x is direct cost, which is 4. Okay. So then node z cost. So node z table also we'll make it. So dz, right? And two destinations are there. So via x and y it can, and this is for x. We are considering x only because x change is with respect to x only. Between xy link only the change has happened. So the via x, I mean direct link cost at a node z is 50, and via y, via y the cost is 5. So it is 5. 5 is a minimum. So this is a state when the table was converged and before this change was happened 4 to 1. So this is, you can say, at a time t0, right? Now we'll see that at time t1 node y observes that okay, my cost to x is link cost to x is now changed from 4 to 1. So 4 to 1 means now what it will see that it will simply change its update its distance vector. So this is for cost for x is now from 4 to 1 and this becomes the minimum. Fine. And this will as it is same 6 will be there. So this is the status at time. So this status of Z will remain same. Okay, so I'm writing just 3 dash means the same thing will appear here. Okay, because Z did not observe any change in the link cost either to X or Y. That cost are same 50 and 1, no change. Now because of this change, excuse me, because of this change, now least cost for, at y for the node x is changed, then it needs to send to z. It will send to z. So it will send to z. Then how the z table will change? So it is dz and it is x and y via x and y and cost of x. So now y is saying that okay, my cost to x is, so y is saying my cost to x is in place of 4 it is 1 actually, right? So then it will say okay, y is telling me, z will say that okay, y is telling me that okay, my cost to x is 1 and the link cost between me and y is 1, so it will be 1 plus 1. So it will say if you are sending me, so this will remain 50 only via x, but via y cost will be now 2 and this 2 is now least. Earlier its cost was 5 and 5 becomes now 2. So that's why now Z will send its update to its neighbor. So right now we are considering just one neighbor only, communication between Y and Z only, although it will send to X also. X we have not considered right now. So at t equals to 2, this is the situation. So because this least cost is changed, so it will send to Y. So now after receiving this, what change will happen in Y? So X, Z, and so now what this Z is sending to Y, Z is sending to Y is let me clean everything. So I will write fresh. Yes. So Z is Z distance vector D ZX DZX DZX equals to 2. So DZX means the cost from Z to X is 2. This distance vector it is sending to Y. Now Y will see okay it's cost to 2 but my cost to X is 1. I know that. Okay, so and Z is telling me the cost is 2, so my cost to Z is 1, so it is now via Z my cost is 3 but my direct cost is 1, so this is least. To my least cost there is no change in the least cost, right? So there is no change in the least cost and obviously this also will remain same. So now after this t equals to 3 there is no exchange of messages. Now it is again converge. So now the current table is so if I just simply redraw this thing, so dz the table will be remain same d. So it is x. So this is 50 and 2. So the current table of z is saying that okay my cost to x is 2 and y is saying my cost to x is 1. That's minimum and there is no change in. So here it is converged. Converged and we say that okay this is something called as a good news. Good news is because the link cost is reduced. So this is a good news. So good news travels fast. Travels fast. In a, you can say the 3 iterations. In a third iteration, if we say this is the initial, then 1, 2, 3 iteration, the table become converged. Okay. So now take the a slightly different example. So here now change is there's a bad news basically. The cost was 4 and now it becomes 60. So now what will happen in this case? Same example. So we'll take the same that node y table will I'll take node y cost via x and z for x. Let us say x, y has observed this change. Similarly, x can also observe this thing. So we have taken one because this they are distributed. So even with respect to x also we can do the same thing, right? So this is destination x. So before this change, this was the table for y and the table for distance vector for z was for the node x, x and y. This is, so it is 50 and 4 plus 1, 5. This was the situation. So this is at time t0. Now change was observed by y. So the cost is become 4 to 60. So now you see that this cost is become 4 to 60. Now what is the new cost, least cost for x at y or from y? What will be the new cost now? Because this 4 now becomes 60 and this is 6 only. So now in place of direct link, because JAD has we can say advertised to y that okay I can take you in a cost of 6. So that distance vector was there with the y that okay the cost from z to x is 5 and my cost to z is 1. So the y will compute 5 plus 1 6, that is. So now this 6 is become the least cost actually, right? And this table will ZAD's, because Z is not they not observed any change at t equals to 1, so Z table will remain same. Because the least cost to y to x is change, so that's why this it will inform to its neighbor also, one of the neighbor Z. So after, when Z will receive this thing, then what will happen? So Z current situation is like this. The current situation is like this, x. So direct cost is 50 and now earlier y was telling that my cost to uh, so now y is telling to z that okay my cost to x is 6. So it is new distance vector it is sending, that is a dyx, saying my y to x cost is 6. And so Z will see that okay my cost to X is 50, that's the one option I have, okay. And the another option which I have is that is which is coming from Y. So okay Y is telling I can he can take me to X in 6 and my cost to Y is 1. So my new cost to X via Y is now 7. So it will say ठीक है 7 is still okay for me because it is more is less than the 50. So I am happy with the 7 and 7 is least cost is changed. So its least cost is changed, because least cost changed, then it will send to Y its neighbor that okay yes my least cost to X is now changed. So see that if it is useful for you, then you can also update your distance vector for X. So it will say, so how the Y cost will change now? So now Y will say, okay, my direct cost is anyway 60, but now Z is telling, okay, I can take you to dzx. Z is sending this information, say I can take you to X in 7. And Y is saying that my cost to Z is 1. So 1 plus 7, okay, 8. 8 is still good for me because it is less than 60. So my least cost is via Z only. Now Z's Y's least cost to X is changed, so Y will inform to Z. Now what is happening here? Yes? Tell me what is happening here. How long this will be continue?
Sir, 52 more iterations, sir. In each iteration, one by one it is increasing the cost.
Ha. Each iteration, the cost is increasing. So when this process will stop?
When the cost becomes 60, sir.
Uh,
From
no, no. When Z,
sir,
ha. Yes, yes.
sir, uh, when y to z to x 51, sir. When it will reach 52, I think.
So no, when Y will say that Y will send to Z says that okay, my cost to Y will say my cost to X is 50. When it will say this, then what Z will do? Z will say okay, your cost to X is 50, fine. So me to U is 1. So okay. So if via U if I go, then my cost is 51 to for X. And if I go directly to X 50. So then it will say so then my cost is 50 actually. So it will use this least cost, right? So till this point, this will happen. And what is happening here? This is that Y is reaching to X via Z, and Z is also reaching to X via Y. So basically, Y and Z, they are reaching to X via each other. So during this process, when this thing is happening in the network, right? Let us say some packets, data packets are coming for at a node Z or node Y, right? Or either of that node or both node. Then, and for destination X, they have to forward this packet to X. X is a destination. So what Z will do? According to Z, the least cost to X is via Y. So Z will forward such packet to Y. At present, this cost is 7, and that cost Z knows that okay, I got my next stop is Y actually. So it will send to, and Y is Y is when Y receive this packet, Y will say okay, my least cost to X is basically via Z. So my next stop is Z for that. So Y will forward to Z. So this is a loop. This is a routing loop, isn't it? So until this is loop is not breaking, uh, this means the packets will be exchanged between Y and Z only and not reaching to the X. And maybe depends upon that how much change happened in the cost from which value to which value in these many iterations. This problem is called as a count to infinity problem. Count to infinity problem. And due to this problem, the convergence, hope you understand the meaning of convergence. Convergence is, you can say, slow in the distance vector. If any such change happen in the link, and then it takes, you can say, large number of iterations, depends upon the relative values of the cost of the link, how that number of iterations it will take to further or again converge back to again. So this and this problem is due to because there is a partial information, partial in the sense when Y is receiving this distance vector from Z, Y actually don't know that okay, yes, this Z is actually calculating the path to X or the least cost which is giving to me for X, it is via me only. And similarly, Z is also not aware of that okay, whatever cost Y is giving, that is giving via me to X only. So this information is not exchanged in the distance vector when they exchange the distance. Simply the cost exchange. Okay, 5, 7. But this information is not there. It is via which node? Because if I know that okay, Y is dependent on me as a Z, I know Y is dependent on me for the X, and Z knows that okay, sorry, and Y knows that Z is dependent on me for the X destination. Then this could have been avoided. But this information is not passing to each other in the distance vector. That's why this problem is there. And this is called as a routing loop, and also called as a typical route count to infinity problem in the distance vector algorithm. So what we'll do in the next class, we'll see that what is the solution for that. there is a solution. So there is a two solutions are there. Poisson reverse is a one solution. You can also think of that how this can be stopped without going to looking at a Poisson reverse or something. You see that, okay, this is the problem. This is a loop between the two nodes. Similarly, the loop can be formed between the three nodes also. So then it will be more severe or more complicated actually, or difficult to know that. But two node loop, you just think over the two node loops, how this situation can be avoided, which is occurring at present. So the Poisson reverse is the one solution, and another solution called as a split horizon. Split horizon. So these two solutions we will discuss in the next class. But before that, I want that, okay, you also you think over it that, okay, how this can be avoided. What is the root cause of this problem? Okay, and then is there any way to come out from this, and do not enter into this particularly. Okay, so with this, I stop here, and we'll continue in the next class. So let me know if you have any question related to this.